What is up, everybody? We are back here for the NBA playoff predictions 2023. And this year, I think the championship is as wide open as it's ever been in the NBA. As much of you know, we have had a wild Western Conference here. I think up to 5 or 6 teams have a legitimate claim to win the conference this year. And then in the East, you've got the three-headed monster between the Bucks, Celtics, and Sixers there. So I think that race is going to be intriguing. So in this video, I'll make my round-by-round predictions, predict every series here, and tell you how many games I think it is going. And reminder that last year, I was absolutely cooking on this bracket. Messed up a little in the East, but had the West dialed as I had the Warriors winning the championship, and they ended up doing so. And also, I had 6 of the 8 first-round series, the winner and exact number of games correct, which I think is pretty impressive. So if you're going to take one thing away from this video, take the first round here. So we start out with Denver versus the number 8 seed. Now, as I'm recording this video, we know the top 7 seeds in each conference, but we do not know the 8 seed just yet. And for the sake of this video, I don't really think it matters in this one. I do have the Minnesota Timberwolves getting this spot, but I think the Pelicans could easily slide in here as well. But either way, I have the Denver Nuggets winning in 5 games. They haven't really tried in the final 2 weeks of the regular season. I think they're going to come into this one very rested. And last year they did lose in 5 games to the Warriors, but they were without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. I think that with those reinforcements and this great home court advantage with the altitude in Denver, they'll be a force to be reckoned with here. Don't think they quite have enough talent and firepower to sweep any of these teams, except for maybe Oklahoma City, but I think they thoroughly outclass whichever opponent they face, so give me the Nuggets to win in 5 there. Then we get to a very interesting matchup, the Phoenix Suns hosting the Clippers 4-5 matchup. We've got KD, Book, and CP3 against Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook. Will Paul George be back? That will be the main storyline in this series. And for the sake of this prediction, I'm just going to say that he's not going to be available for this series. And if he is, it's going to be past Game 5 or Game 6. So in this one, I'm going to take the Suns to win in 6 games. I think that Kawhi Leonard will have a couple masterclass performances, but I just do not think that that will be enough. Sure, the Clippers do have a great bench and are probably the deeper team here, but I think that bench is diminished in the playoffs. So I just think that the star power of this Suns team will be too much. I respect the Clippers' talent and Ty Lue as a head coach, but in this one, I just think that the Suns are the better team here. I think they win it in 6 games, but it will be very important if Paul George returns to this series, because then I think the Clippers have a legitimate chance to win that one there. Next, we get to the NorCal matchup. We've got the Warriors and Sacramento Kings separated by a 2-hour bus ride. And in this one, I've got the Warriors winning in 6. Now, my initial reaction when I saw this matchup was Warriors maybe in a sweep or in 5 games, especially knowing that Andrew Wiggins will be back, which will supplement the defensive effort for the Warriors, which has been very inconsistent, especially on the road this season where they've had a lot of woes. But then I thought I'd give the Kings a little bit more respect here. I have it going 4-2 to the Warriors. I think that GP2 and Wiggins will have a great defensive series, but I do think that the Kings will light up in a couple of these games, and especially having home court advantage. I'm not sure how much it's going to mean for them in this matchup with these teams not separated by too many miles, but I will respect that the Sacramento Kings had a great season here, but they're just running into the defending champs and a buzzsaw in this one. I think Steph, Clay, and Draymond get it going here, and they win this one in 6 games. And then finally, we get to another great series. We've got Memphis hosting the Lakers here in the 2-7 matchup, and in this one, I'm barely going to go with the Grizzlies to win in 7 games. And I know they are without Steven Adams and Brandon Clark in this matchup, which does concern me a little because the Lakers have AD. And as long as he's healthy in this series, which is a big if, I think they will own the boards in this matchup. But you just saw in that play-in game against the T-Wolves how inconsistent they are, how mistake-prone this team is. And even when LeBron and AD are on the top of their games, I mean, this team just flat out is not elite in my opinion. I don't think the Grizzlies are exactly a juggernaut in their own right, which is why I have this one going 7 games. But I just think that this Lakers team is too mistake-prone, and they're not talented enough to advance far in the playoffs. It would not shock me at all if the Lakers win this series. I have this one definitely going 6, probably 7 games as I predict here, but I have the Grizzlies winning that one at home. Just think that their consistency reigns supreme in that one. Now we advance to the second round where we have the Denver Nuggets, number 1 seed, against the Phoenix Suns. And in this one, I'm taking the Suns to win in 6 games. I just think that the firepower of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and CP3 will reign supreme in this one. We saw this matchup a couple of years back. Now, granted that the teams did look a little different. I think the Nuggets were without Jamal Murray in that series, And Phoenix Suns obviously looked a lot different. It was pre the Kevin Durant trade, but the Suns swept them, and none of those games were particularly close in that series. I think this one is a little bit similar here. Sure, the Nuggets do have home court advantage, which will be very important, but I just think that the Suns are just the superior team at this point, and I think they will be able to neutralize Jokic in that matchup. So give me Phoenix to advance to the conference finals. Then we get to a rematch of last year's Western Conference semifinal. And again, Memphis has home court in this one, but again, I've got the Warriors winning in 6 games here. I think it greatly helps them that Brandon Clark and Steven Adams are out because they do not have a great big man. Kevon Looney will hold the fort down, though, so I do not think that is a weak point for them in this series, and I think that Wiggins will be fully ramped up going into the series. The Grizzlies will also just have had a brawl with the Lakers for 7 games, so I think that they'll be a little bit tired going into the series. Ja is going to have to carry a large load in both of these series, and I just do not think he has enough to get them over the hunt, so I have the Warriors winning a great rivalry series in that one against the Grizzlies, and that gets us a very intriguing Suns-Warriors Western Conference Finals, where Phoenix as the 4 seed actually gets the home court advantage in this one, and I've got it going 7 games, but give me the championship pedigree to reign supreme for the Warriors in 7 games. This will be a thrilling series, but I think that Wiggins will be fully ready to go here, and I think he will take up the challenge of guarding Kevin Durant in this matchup, and you also have GP2 guarding either CP3 or Devin Booker in this one. Now, it remains to be seen if DeAndre Ayton will be a force inside, because he could definitely force some problems for this Warriors team, but I think that Steph and Klay will wreak havoc on this Suns defense, who are not that good at this point. And it also remains to be seen if the Suns team stays healthy, because Kevin Durant has been battling injuries over the past couple of seasons. And then obviously CP3, I think at this point will be 38 years old. And Devin Booker also been dealing with a fair amount of injuries throughout this season. So we'll see about health there. I think that probably determines that matchup. But if these teams are fully healthy, I've got the Warriors to win in a great 7-game series in that one. So with that, we get to the Eastern Conference now, where we get to the Bucks versus the 8 seed. And I've probably got to take the Heat to get that 8th seed, though it could be any of those teams. In a Heat-Bucks series, I'm going with the Bucks in 5 there. The Heat have just been far too inconsistent this year, as you saw in that play-in game where they just got dusted by the Hawks. And if they get owned on the offensive rebounds like they did against Atlanta at home, I can only imagine what this Bucks team is going to do to them inside. It is going to be brutal for them there. Still, I have them winning a game in the series. I don't have it being a sweep, but the Heat are not the same team that was a shot away from the finals last year. So I have Milwaukee thoroughly beating them there in 5 games. Then we get to the 4-5 matchup, by far the most intriguing first-round matchup in the Eastern Conference. Cavs-Knicks. I've got the Cavs barely edging New York out in 7 games, and I just think Donovan Mitchell will be the difference in this series. He's got so much playoff experience in Utah, and I think he puts it to work here. I think Evan Mobley will have a big series in this one, and it'll be a battle inside with him and Randall. And I also think Jalen Brunson will have a big series here as well, but I just think that home court advantage with the Cavs will reign supreme, and I just think they've been the more consistent team over the regular season. So I trust them a little more in this matchup, although it could go either way there. Then we go to the Sixers versus the Nets. This one is far less interesting to me. I've got the Sixers as the much better team in this one, winning in 5 games. I think Embiid is the MVP and will be a man on a mission in this series. You've also got Harden playing very well as a distributor this season, and Maxey coming off the bench there, so I think they win that in 5. Then similarly, I've got Boston winning in 5 against the Hawks. I know the Hawks went on a little bit of a run a couple seasons ago, but I just do not think that that was sustainable. Sure, Trae Young and DeJounte Murray's outside play will probably get them a win in this series, but I just do not think that they pose an overall threat to this Boston team, so give me the Celtics in 5 there. Then we get to the second round of the East, where I'm taking the Bucks to win in 6 games over the Cavs. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they can stop Giannis in this one, because I think if they can with Mobley and Jarrett Allen, this could be a very interesting series, and the Cavs could be a sneaky upset pick in this one. I didn't go that far, and I didn't even have it going 7 games, but I think it'll be a frisky 6-game series in this one. I just think that the youth of the Cavs in this one will do them in against the NBA's oldest team in Milwaukee, so I have experienced Bucks getting to the conference finals once again there. Then we've got the Sixers and the Celtics, a fantastic second round matchup here. And in this one, I've got Philadelphia doing it, winning in 7 games here to advance to the conference finals, which they haven't done in the process era. And I just think that this Boston team, even though they went to the finals last year, it was a really rocky road. They actually had an under 500 record at home last year. And sure, Tatum and Brown would have some majestic performances, but they would also lay eggs in big-time games. So I just think that that inconsistency will do them in here. And I know they own the Sixers in the regular season, won that season series 3-1. but I just think that Embiid will be too much for Robert Williams III inside, and I think that Tyrese Maxey and Harden will match Brown and Tatum there. So I've got it being a very close series, but the Sixers getting a big upset in that one to advance in the conference finals. Then we get to the Bucks and the Sixers. I think this one is a very interesting series, but give me the Bucks to win in 7 games over this Sixers team. I just think that this Bucks team is too deep for the Sixers, and also Philadelphia will be very tired coming off of that 7-game battle against the Celtics there. This one, again, could go either way, but I'm honoring the greatness of Giannis in that one to pull through for the Bucks there. So now we get to our finals matchup, which will be a great one between the Warriors and the Bucks. I had this one going 7 games, but I once again have the Warriors winning the championship, repeating in this one, and I think if they can slow down Giannis at all, they will probably win this matchup. I also didn't mention that Middleton has been dealing with injuries all season. He actually did not play that much. Jrue Holiday will be a menace to guard Curry, but I just think that this Warriors team, if they get the shooting dialed in, if they can beat Phoenix in that Western Conference Finals, they have done enough to prove to me that they will win the title. So give me the Warriors narrowly to edge out the Bucks in that one in a 7-game series there. So with all that being said, let me know your guys' playoff predictions down below in the comments. Do you guys agree with my predictions? Who is your guys' sleeper team to make the NBA Finals and potentially win it all? As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.